You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm.
Good evening, good evening. It's your girl Renee. You are listening to C1Music.fm, aka La Familia. Tonight is August the 21st. It is now 10 p.m. and we are excited to be with you this evening. We've got a full panel. We've got a great show coming up. We actually had Vengeance is Mine Part 1 for those that were tuning in on that particular day. And back by popular demand, we are coming with Vengeance is Mine Part 2. We only scratched the surface last time, so this time we're really going to dig deep. We're asking that you call in or tune in. Definitely, if you don't want to speak, that's fine. Feel free to answer the questions online, uversion.com, under C1Music.fm, and get involved. We are really trying to engage a good, healthy conversation, and we're going to be as transparent and honest as possible to speak about revenge. So once again, you're listening to C1Music.fm. It's your girl Renee, and we are going to get it in tonight and go into our topic, Vengeance is Mine, Part 2. But as usual, for those that are always tuning in here, you know we have to come with the amazing music. So we're really about that. So, again, if you want to call in, definitely do that. You can call in at 805-399-1200, and that's extension 105-431. For those that are tuning in via Skype, just add the show by searching Free Conference Call HD. And that's the same number, 805-399-1200. So we're going to get it in. Tune in. We're about to get into some music right now and get y'all started right. It's your girl, Renee. Let's go.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. Familiar.
Questions all in my mind, but if the answer is right here, maybe I'm blind, I don't know, no, I don't know, but if you are who you are, take the wheel, right now I'm out of control, yeah, 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 they saying that I'm going in, and it's like a shot of adrenaline on this mic, like I'm a riddling, giggling, cause I'm living and giving up every minute to the one giving us light. I'm all in for the lump sum till the sun comes, or the fat lady done sung her last song, or till the drums thump, and the trumpet sound and we blast off. But that don't mean I ain't got questions though. I'm imperfect and less than most, but while I'm searching for a purpose, what emerges is nothing less than dope.
Everybody talk, nobody listen. Everybody wanna look at me cause I'm Christian. People all around wanna see how I'm living. Though I move on, I can choose one moment in my life wanted to be loose from. I've been broken, peace stolen. People need to see what it means to believe on. Everybody wanna know why I do what I do. No, God saves, gotta let them know He's the only way I'ma make it through. Everybody wanna question life, but ain't nobody ready the answers to Him. Everything I do, everything I say, I do it for the people we lose.
time coming and we're still never risking. Looking for the words that can free us in an instant. Distant, looking for the exit right there. Breathless, walking like sheep with a death wish. Not a mention of a name or a mention of a change. In the center of the pain, side to side like a rose petal in the rain. Trying to pedal in the rain, getting burnt like hell to the flame. We never budge or settle for the change. Never true, never transparent, cellophane. Got some good in our blood, but I bet it's vain. And it's strange when you see somebody grab hold. Choose life, break free from the black hole. Never give in, never stop, never look back on these trials. Gotta move by strap on, listen up.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm.
Satellite reception. All aboard a rocket ship straight into the sun.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. Unfamiliar.
Let's go. Yeah. This is your boy Pastor 83 again. Sometimes it get hard out here, man. Sometimes stuff just gets so big that I can't see God. I know you feel me. Check. Pressure be keeping me away from seeing you. You keep me in a hole, away from being who you call me to be. Out of my destiny, somebody rescue me. Will I ever see the day I can truly say that I'm free from all the man-made opinions of me? I'm not who they say that I'll be. I just need to fly by what they say. I hear what they say about me, man, I just fly by. Yes, sir, I keep it moving, tell haters bye-bye. I fly by, I fly by. I fly by, I fly by. He say who I am and he don't look at what I was. Because I'm in his love, your words don't fit me like a glove. I fly by, I fly by. I fly by, I fly by. My vision need to be clearer. Yeah, my sight looking right, I'm in the wrong mirror. I ain't consumed in pages, I'm seeing looks and stares from people pulling on me as if they really care.
I feel that, but in reality, they only bout what they can get from me. If I ain't giving, then they zone me out. Eagle to these sparrows, straight and narrow. Took the lonely route, can read they lying eyes, so I ain't buying what the homies tout. They say they love me, but just love my talent. While others say my rhymes ain't spiritual enough, they wanna judge my balance. Wanna debate them cause I love a challenge, but I'd probably cut them deep and hurt them, so I love with silence. Man, they may mistake that for weakness. My pride, it starts to rise and trying to shank that with meekness. Redirect my anger, see the torture that these beats get. Swear my every prayer's like a fortress of my secrets. I build it, hand it to him, ask him tear it down, because the yoke is way too much for me to carry round. That's when I hear him smile, and his reply, I love it. Why get caught up in the storm? I designed you to fly above it.
I hear what they say about me, man, I just fly by. Yes, sir, I keep it moving, tell haters bye-bye. I fly by, I fly by. I fly by, I fly by. He say who I am and he don't look at what I was. Because I'm in his love, your words don't fit me like a glove. I fly by, I fly by. I fly by, I fly by. Yeah, I used to be consumed by everything they said about mine. But I know better now that I found you. You never try to snake me. You said you won't forsake me. That's why you're the center of my focus, and I'm hopeless without your love. I hear what they say about me, man, I just fly by. Yes, sir, I keep it moving, tell haters I'm about. I fly by, I fly by, yeah. I fly by, I fly by. He say who I am, he don't look at what I used to be, yeah. I fly by, I fly by. I fly by, I fly by.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. Unfamiliar.
What's up? It's your girl Renee. Once again, you're listening to C1Music.fm. It's La Familia, and you were just listening to Pastor 83, and that was the song by the name of Flyby. So we know a lot of people love to tune in to C1 Music because of our incredible music. For those that are not familiar with various artists and various genres within the Christian base. So we are so glad that you are with us tonight. Once again, you're listening to your girl Renee, and we want you guys to tune in to YouVersion if you're listening, virtually. If you're online, answer the questions. We are speaking about revenge, and the topic tonight is Vengeance is Mine, Part 2. So for those that missed Part 1, backtrack a little bit. You'll find it on Spreaker.com. And then fast forward up to this evening's questions and get involved. If not that, give us a call, 805-399-1200. So we're going to get right into it because I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited about my panel. I've got some beautiful people with me this evening. I've got Tito, Grace, Cheryl, Judy, and Joy. So we're going to get it in, and we want you guys to tune in to YouVersion so you guys can get involved with us. So we're going to jump right into it. So our first question for the evening, if those can remember, those that tuned in before, if you can remember that we were speaking about revenge and, you know, what that is and how we define it, I need to know, by my panel, and for those listening, I need to know, is revenge freedom or bondage? Is it freedom or bondage? And I need you guys to dig deep and really think about even the minor things. Even if you were like 5 and something happened and you wanted to retaliate, I want you to give me an example of how you were either the receiver of revenge or the instigator. The receiver of revenge or the instigator. So I want to start with my Joy. I love that name. It's such a beautiful name. Joy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Hi, Joy. So, Joy, I want to ask you first and foremost, would you describe revenge as freedom or bondage?
For me, revenge is just bondage for everyone who does this because you're just being bandage of your own madness. There's no good pervasive that you can have after doing revenge because you're still doing bad. And as what the saying says, adding another mistake can make everything turn good.
Okay. So that is a really good spin on it.
Thank
Joy
you.
says bondage is of your own madness. So that's really a great way to describe it. And I've never heard anyone really describe it as that, but it really gives you something to think about. So, all right, so I'm going to go around. I'm going to ask everybody first how they would describe it. They say freedom or bondage. And really be honest with yourself in the sense that maybe you were someone that was seeking revenge and how you felt at that particular time. So Joy says, it's a form of madness. You're pretty much perpetuating the mistakes. You're perpetuating negativity and the wrong in it all. So if somebody wrongs you and you continue on that, pretty much you're just continuing on the madness, as she said. So I want to go to Grace, my Grace, and that's another beautiful name there. So Grace, how would you describe revenge, freedom or bondage?
Same as Joy for me. Revenge is bondage. It's not freedom for me because when you think of getting back on someone who has hurt you or getting a revenge, you are dwelling on something that is negative. So negativity will bring negative effects in you as a person. So it's a bondage. It's a difficult situation though, but by and by we will get over with that feeling of revenge if we try to forgive. So bondage is the definition of revenge for me.
Wow. Okay. So it looks like we're kind of on the same page so far when it comes to revenge. And again, like I said, I want to encourage those that are listening, those that are answering online. It is anonymous, so no worries here, no judgment here on C1 Music. But yeah, definitely be honest and dig deep because right now I'm asking you guys about, how you would define revenge, but we are going to dig into some examples and your experience and how you've encountered revenge, whether or not you were the receiver of revenge or the instigator. So, think about if you were one to instigate revenge, what you felt like at that particular time. So, okay, so we've got 2 for bondage. Now let's go to Tito, because Tito is representing for the fellas tonight. And, a lot of people say that fellas tend to be a lot more simple, when it comes to conflict. I mean, I find even the way guys get on the phone and talk, they have a conversation, it's like, yeah, true, word, okay, cool, one. Like, they're very simple, and I find that when guys, get into conflict or any type of disagreement, it's pretty much over before it gets started. You know, it never carries on the way it can among women. So, Tito, I would be really interested in knowing how you would describe revenge. Freedom or bondage, my friend?
Well, it's unfortunate it's only those two options that are on the table.
No, by all means, if you want to elaborate or you would describe it another way, I mean, this is what makes conversation so amazing. There's no right or wrong answer, so dig deep. I mean, whatever it is that you feel you want to define it like, and that's not the option, go ahead, present that to the table.
I just think about it this way. Most of the descriptions we've had tonight had to do with an element of emotion. You know, someone who's carrying something real heavy, and they want someone to pay for it because something happened. You know, that kind of feeling. But think about it this way: someone who wronged you like 50 years ago, and you don't carry it, you just plant it. You know, you just hold it down.
When you say you don't carry it, you said you plant it or you plant it?
Plant it.
Okay.
You know, just drop a few things that you need to do in a few years, set up the resources. Don't let it be a problem. Just say it's just going to happen. It's automatic. I probably know people who've done that. And if it wasn't for my Christian persuasion, I'm telling you, some people would have had it a long time ago. I'm the kind of person who makes plans, makes very serious plans, and tries to put the resources together to get, to the end of that. And
wow, you know what, Tito? You always foreshadow what's going to happen in the discussion. So I'm not don't dig too much into what you just said, because that's actually foreshadowing what's going to come later. But so you said that it's an element of emotion, which I would agree. We as humans have these emotions that cause us to feel things that aren't necessarily, the right choice. It's not the best choice in the matter. So go on.
All right, so in terms of the question, I would not call it freedom, and I wouldn't call it bondage either.
Okay.
I don't know. I believe it has something to do with pleasure,
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like a chocolate cake. And, well, that's my opinion. And that's probably why most things are sinful, because they're, they just go to the pleasure center of the brain rather than, I mean, who would want to walk around feeling glum and angry and all that stuff? It's just wrong and heavy. And to me, that doesn't sound like revenge at all. And from the one of the most famous statements about revenge is that it's best served cold. That probably means that someone's about to enjoy it,
Wow.
Well, that's what I think.
Oh my gosh, you see C1 Music listeners and fans, this is why we call Tito Mr. Professor, because he just gave us the intellectual response. He took us to, the pleasure senses of the brain, and he brought it to, a famous quote, and it just broke it down like that. So that's why we call him Mr. Professor. So that is great. Like, this is exactly why questioning is so amazing, because you never know what you're going to get. There is no right or wrong answer. We all have different experiences. We all come from so many different backgrounds and walks of life. So this is what makes it amazing. So again, we've got two for bondage. Tito says, though, forget bondage, forget freedom. It's neither. It's just like on a multiple choice question. It's like either all the above or none of the above. So Tito says none of the above. It's more so about pleasure, and he actually equates that to chocolate cake. So that's pretty funny, because I like chocolate cake. So I don't know what that says about me, but we'll move on. So Judith, we've got Judith on the line, and I want to see what you think about it, Judith. How would you describe revenge? And again, like Tito said, it may not be freedom to you, it may not be bondage, but feel free to elaborate. So what would you say, Judith?
Okay, for me, revenge is bondage, because we notice that revenge will happen if one person feels frightened and bitterness. It will form revenge or hatred. Acts of revenge in this world are viewed by the retaliator as a defensive act in response of everyone to the offenders' unwarranted and unfair actions. Um, but the thing we need to know, all the listeners there, that revenge is bondage, and we disobey the commands of our God. So it will, it may give a bad effect to our life. Because all people here, if they're wrong and they hurt, they wanted to hurt, and they wanted to feel the pain to the person who made them wrong. So that yes. As a person, we know that there's a lot of difficulties that comes are in our life. A lot of things that will lead us to be worse. We do something if we don't want to do, we revenge even we know that we disobey the commandments of our God because we feel madness. We feel very anger. So the thing I think I get my reminders is to pray as always and trust to the Lord. That's all.
Okay. Wow, you guys are really dropping knowledge. I mean, I'm making note of everything you say. So Judith was dropping that knowledge. We might have a Mrs. Professor on the line as well, because she basically said that it's bondage. That's how she was describing it, and that it stems from bitterness, and it is a defensive act because someone has wronged you and now you're on the defense, and then you then react to what it is that they did, and more importantly, Judith says that it doesn't obey the command of our God. And it's funny that you say that, Judith, because I know originally when I had created this radio topic, my initial topic title was "Vengeance is Mine or Is It His?" Because that's what the word says. The word says that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord. But yet we always tend to take matters into our own hands. So it's almost like we got to ask the question: well, is vengeance His or is it mine? And basically that's what we're discussing today. So, so it's about anger. It is about a lack of trust that God will get it done. And a lot of times, I know myself included, I'm like, my goodness, God, I see, you see your enemies prosper, and you see people that maybe are non-believers or don't even follow after Christ, or maybe aren't living right, or maybe are not good-hearted people, and you see them doing great things and great things happening to them, and then you wonder, like, you feel some type of way. So, it is very much about bitterness. It's very much about pleasure, as Tito said. It's very much about defensive,ness and a lack of trust and anger. So, good stuff, guys. So, last and certainly not least, we have our girl Cheryl on the line to complete our panel, and I want to hear what Cheryl has, because you are really enlightening me this evening. So I want to hear what Cheryl thinks about revenge. Freedom or bondage, Cheryl?
Okay. For me, I like the answer of Tito anyway, but I would rather choose that revenge is a bondage. Because when we say bondage, you are not free. There is no freedom. It only means that you cannot do anything that you want. That's why when we say bondage, or if you are going to take revenge, then you will be as if you are a prisoner in a beleaguered fortress. If you take revenge, that's how I see it. That's why when we say revenge, it is bondage. As if you are a prisoner. You are not freely. You cannot freely do whatever you want to do.
Wow. Okay. So now, when you say you can't, you're a prisoner. You can't freely do what you want to do. Elaborate on that, because of course, figuratively, that sounds, you can almost visualize that, But can you dig a little deeper? Can you elaborate a little bit on and how you're a prisoner? You're a prisoner, because clearly you're not really behind bars. But can you just elaborate on what that means when you're a prisoner and you can't freely do what you want?
If I'm going to revenge to the people who wronged me, then, for example, I will be taking revenge.
Right.
So in that way, maybe emotionally, spiritually, I will be a prisoner. Because I cannot act. If I'm going to revenge, then I cannot sleep. Maybe I cannot eat. I cannot even talk to anyone. So I might be a prisoner. That's how I see it. That's how I see revenge it. That's why revenge is not ours anyway.
Ain't that something? You are absolutely right, because here it is, you can't sleep, you can't eat, you can't sleep, and that person is chilling. They having a good old time, and they're living their life. A lot of times they say that people that have wronged you, they don't even remember. They don't remember.
Yeah.
They don't remember what you did. So while you holding on to it, and I have a very good memory, and I think that that's a bit of a blessing and a curse. So it's almost like, oh Lord, please let me. And I have my long-term memory is so sharp. It's actually better than my short-term memory. So I can recall the event down to what you were wearing and what you said. Which is very vivid. I have a vivid imagination, so it makes it very difficult. But you're right. Emotionally and mentally, you're imprisoned. So you're imprisoned in your mind because of revenge. So that's deep. That's really deep, y'all. I mean, you guys need to come in and join the conversation and really get involved on uversion.com because it's some serious business. It's some serious business, and especially when we live in a society where it's all about getting mine. We live in a capitalist society. We live in an opportunistic society, where it's dog eat dog. It's like, get money, get fame, take care of yours. It's almost like if you see somebody that has something that you want or has something that you don't feel that they deserve, really we live in a society where it's like, oh, you go out and get that. You do whatever it takes, to get what it is that you want. And in so many cases, it comes out in things like this where, you seek revenge or you covet. And it goes back to what you just said, this is not what the Lord would have it to be. So that's more the reason why we're discussing it. We are here discussing this. I definitely want people to get involved and join in. We are really getting it in. I mean, and everybody's already dropping their knowledge and really digging deep. I'm going to give you guys a break right now because the next segment we want to get into, some of the experiences that people have had dealing with revenge. Because I think that's going to be the ultimate truth, how people have encountered this in their lifetime, whether it was you were young or your adult life, whether it was in college, whether it was at home, whether it was among friends, loved ones. I'm sure we all have encountered it. So once again, you're listening to your girl, Renee, c1music.fm, a.k.a. La Familia. We want you to join the conversation, so give us a call during this after this next commercial break. We've got... you can give us a call at 805-399-1200 and hit your extension code 105431. So we want to hear from you, be it virtually or vocally on the phone. So we are going to go to a break, and then we're going to get right back into our conversation. Vengeance is mine. All right, so y'all enjoy this music, and we'll get right back with you. Music.
You are now listening to the sounds of c1music.fm. Familiar.
Sky falling, but I'm still flying through it, girl. Hey, this ain't willpower, it's willpower. plagiarize me. Take my word for it. Hey, I'm the prey, but you can call me Crayola. Not because I'm in the kitchen whipping up the soda, but because I'm here to paint a vivid picture for you. I know the truth's hitting by the way I picture for you. You're fighting for attention. I got the riddling. I got the hope for it. I'm the middleman. Let me show you my supply. Yeah, you need to know him. He got me walking on the water when the wind's blowing, and when the storm's brewing, and when the tide's high. That's when I lean into the truth that I abide by.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. Unfamiliar.
Yeah, I'm a mathematic equation, a dilemma to Einstein. I'm probably considered one of the greatest of all time. But in reality, I ain't jack due to a miniature black poodle compared to the God who created all time. Here's a tip, my grand hustle is all grind. If I ain't glorifying the Lord through these raw lines, metaphors, double similes of all kind. I'm connected to the vine, I am online. Best believe with every rhyme, I am on my Billy Madison, lift up the Lord, yeah, at all times. Glorify his name, in whatever lane. Take it to the streets, like I'm David Blaine. But I don't dabble in the dark arts, I'm a light. We consist of many parts, this is the body of Christ. Lyrically body the mics. Train potty anybody trying to body what's right. For the body of Christ, for the glory of God, I'm forever on that. Send missiles where these rappers say they thrown at. I see stones in their hands, they ain't thrown yet. And I'm just trying to be the perfect candidate to throw them at. Say hello to my little friend, composition, notepad, black pen, God let his spirit in. I pray my life and my writings might mirror him. If not, pray them rocks break my mirror in. I be damned if I do it for them dividends. So if I don't ever blow, I ain't giving in. Bump giving up, bump driving Benzes. Put me in a pickup truck and I still get it in. Like Tonka, ain't nothing sweet, Willy Wonka. I'm running through this game like Contra. Let's get it in, let's get it in. Check it, I got no swag, Even if I got coach bags, a dope jag, and a whole lot of cash, and it's oh so sad. Especially if I flows like low soul. The truth is, I'm just broke glass. Possess no class, dead toe tag. Is that what y'all popping up under them old rags? Heard the rich get richer, and the broke stay broker than the zipper. While sipping on tonic and cognac. None of that. I'm about father's business. My whole gang got Nike shirts that say witness. Damn paparazzi that creep and take pictures. Gangsters, we do drive-bys and spray scripture. Like, blow, blow. Pray that the strays hit you. Pray that the slug explodes and some of it stays with you. Till it does all the above to change you into what God wants from all of our lives. Walking a pistol. Yeah, I'm saying, Lord, break us if you gotta do it. Don't wanna be a hireling, a freaking opportunist. Somebody who gotta be the face of the followers if I ain't following you. I am twisted like Oliver. Bump if it ain't popular. I'm still popping big stuff out my mouth about how you more than a conqueror. You conquered death, right? After that gave us the power to do the same. So you conquered the grave twice. So when I'm on stage, I am just a stage light. You the one performing it. I am just amazed by it. So when it comes to the flesh, don't even try it. All glory and honor, we give it to the most highest. Most highest. Most highest.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. Unfamiliar.
Yes, we are back. Once again, you're listening to C1Music.fm. La Familia. It's your girl, Renee. And we are getting it started right with our incredible panel tonight. Speaking about revenge, once again, we are here. Vengeance is Mine, Part 2. For those that were tuning in to Part 1, back by popular demand, we brought back Part 2 so we can dig a little deeper tonight. And for those that are listening and, definitely want to know who we are playing, that was Mouthpiece, Broken Glass, and Lecrae, Walking on Water. So we definitely want you guys to get involved and learn a lot when you're tuning into us, and more importantly, enjoy really good, healthy, positive music. So once again, we've got our incredible panel tonight. We got Tito, Grace, Cheryl, Judith, and Joy, and we are talking about revenge, y'all. We just got started with how we define revenge, and it's really funny how everybody has broken it down in different ways, even though, you know, the overall consensus was that they would believe that revenge is bondage. Everyone has different ways to describe it. You know, one would describe it as pleasure, one would describe it as a defense mechanism, bitterness, anger, you know, lack of trust in the Lord to get it done. You know, I know for me, I'm impatient, so I always find like, oh God, you know, are you working on my behalf? I mean, do you see what that person did? You know, so it's things like that. But for us, we just have to remember we have to extend forgiveness to other people, or else we won't get forgiveness for ourselves. So back to our show. The question was, how do you define revenge, bondage, or freedom? And now I wanted to dig a little deeper, and I want to see who's encountered revenge and in what way they encountered that thing. So I want to start with, I'm going to start with Judith this time. And Judith, I want to know if you can give me an example, you know, at any time in your life, at any point, young or old, recent, past, minor or really major, how you've experienced revenge. If you were the instigator or if you were the receiver of type of retaliation. So can you shed some light on that, Judith?
Okay. I remember a situation I encountered revenge when I was high school. I was so mad at my classmate because she did something that's really annoyed. She did something that made me feel bad. I made myself cry, and suddenly I thought that I need to revenge. So I did. So I made her hurt because I want her to feel hated and pain that she feels to me. As a person, we know that there's a lot of difficulties that comes in our life. But I think that time that I don't know what I'm going to do, because it's really hurt to me that a person did something wrong to you, and she really made to you without her any conscience, and it's really hurt. She said that my mother is a hostess, and it's really hurt for me because it's not true. I know to myself that it's not true, and I was so crying the whole day. So that's why I think that I need to do something to revenge. I need to say something to back the pain that he said to me. So the thing I'm supposed to do is to push him and slap her face. I'm so angry that time because my mother, she's insulting my mother, and I don't want to.
Yeah, those are fighting words right there.
To experience like that. Me. She said to me that wasn't insulting. It's really It's really insulted my life, myself, and we know that there's a God. So I pray for her, and I say sorry to her. Even I know to myself that I'm the one who first did something wrong. But
okay, so
we know.
So you did push her and slap her, and then you apologized.
After that, because
Judith is a nice bad chick. She'll slap you and push you, and then she's gonna apologize.
Oh my God, my conscience is running. I feel that God told to me that Judith, you need to say sorry to your classmate, even you're not the one who made mistake. So after I push him, I helped them to up, and I said sorry.
oh wow! So you pushed him and he fell. Oh.
Yes, I pushed him, and after that I slapped her face because I'm so mad at that time. But At the time, I realized that I need to say sorry to her because I feel the presence of God saying that Judith, you need to be more humble. You need to be down to earth, even she do something mistakes. You need to
Oh, wait,
love
so
your
was
neighbor.
it a girl or a guy, or was both?
She's
it was
she's
a girl or a
crying.
guy that said something about your mom.
She's crying and she said also the same with me. She said sorry and we hug. We hug.
Oh, okay. Okay, wow, Judith. So Judith is bad chick. Don't mess with Judith and don't talk about her mother. But you know what? That is honestly that is one of those things. It's like a known code. You just don't talk about somebody's mother. That's a no. I think that's been like a unwritten code for years. And it's going to continue to be a code, from now until the end of the world. So I totally can empathize. So basically, Judith, would you say that you felt bad after you sought that revenge? How would you say it made you feel?
I feel so very, very, very what do we call this? Very, very acceptable, very, very good because I know to myself that I'll do my part. I obeyed the command of the Lord, even it's really hurt to me, but it's okay. I know that God have a purpose. That's why that happened.
Okay. Yeah, because that's why I started with the question of is it freedom or bondage? Because pretty much that's kind of indicative of how it's going to make you feel, and clearly you had an emotional response to it, so much so that you helped the person up. You said you wanted to pray for that person. You said sorry. You know what I mean? You went through these things. So sometimes people don't have that emotional reaction to having sought out revenge. So that was very honest of you, Judith, and I appreciate you sharing with us about
Thank you.
that. Because that's real. That's real talk. That
yes, it's really true.
We're gonna have problems. So I may help you up afterwards. I might ice your face. But at the end of the day, like you say something about my mother, you're gonna get it initially. So I might be able to get over it, but initially you're going to get it. So Judith, that's how Judith handled it. I need to know now, Grace, how you feel about revenge, whether it's freedom and bondage, and more importantly, what's your experience with revenge? Have you experienced it as the receiver, or in, Judith's case, did you instigate and seek out revenge towards someone else?
Okay, so I remember I had an experience. It was like the first 2 years of my marriage. I had a child. I had my son already about like 7 months. So I remember now with a smile what I did, but it's funny. But during that moment that I was plotting how to take the revenge. I could remember how mad I was, how hurt I was.
Wait, you were mad about what? What were you were mad about? What
about my husband that time. So this is the scenario. So he is a soldier, so he was a platoon leader that time. So most of the time he is out on the field. So he just comes home like once or twice a week. So that afternoon he came home, so he said, you prepare some food, I'll have some like drink with some soldiers as well, some buddies. So, when you have a child with you, you don't have any house help, you do everything for the family, for the house. So he was already there enjoying, they were drinking, laughing, so I could hear. They didn't do it in the house we were staying, so it's like another building, but in the Philippines, the barracks, they're made of light materials. So we were staying in a hut. It's not a big, just one room hut. So I took dinner with my husband and my child, so he was done. So he went out to start drinking with his friends. So I let him go. Okay, I don't care. So I was looking at the time, almost 10, 11, 12. So I said, oh, it's time for me to sleep. I couldn't wait until he's done. So what I did, because I know he will be knocking at the door, what I did is I played the radio, FM station. I put the radio on to its maximum, to the max at the level. So I wouldn't hear anything from him, no knock or whatever. So I locked the door. It was not double lock. Since I told you it was made of light material, so if nobody would open, he would probably kick. I think he did kick the door many times. I don't know if he fell from kicking the door until it was open. But anyways, that was my sweet revenge.
Oh my goodness, I'm learning so much about these sweet ladies on the phone. It's so funny. So what happened? I mean, when he came in, did he finally make his way in? Did he know that you were being spiteful, or
yeah,
he didn't even realize because he was just like.
He didn't do anything. He didn't anything because it was very obvious. I was angry at him, but it was my way. It was like a simple way of not disturbing what he was doing. I didn't disturb him, right? I didn't do what he did. But hey, if I can't sleep, then I'll find a way. When you're done with what you're doing, let me see if you could get in easily. That's what he was. Stay outside.
That is gangster. I love it. So how did you feel after you do that? Did you feel like, it sounds like you might have kind of empathized with what Tito was saying, with feeling like pleasure. Did you feel good after that, or did you feel like, oh man, I should have did that?
A bit. But that's the reason why you said it's a bondage, because after what happened, after I was able to initiate everything, it was done nicely. My fear was, what will happen next? What will happen next? What if he would wake me up and then start another fight? It's gonna be a cycle, So you don't know what will be the reaction of the other person who received your revenge. It's a good thing that since he was already drunk, I think he doesn't have the energy to fight me, so he didn't say anything. He just slept. Okay, but I felt good, and it was also good that he didn't do anything after. Anyway, that was so far the best revenge that I ever did in my whole life.
That was really good. You did play that out really well. I like that. I like your style. That, but no, you're right, because you said, initially it gives you pleasure and you felt good about it, but you never know what the reaction of the other person is going to be. So like you said, had he retaliated, had it was almost like he would have been reacting to your reaction, and then it blows out of proportion, and then it could have turned into something, totally unexpected. And here it is, you were just having good fun, or you just wanted to get some rest. So, that's a good point to bring up, because you know what? You just never know what the consequence will be of you seeking that revenge. So that's good, because that actually segues into, what we're going to talk about later. So I like that. Tito, let's go to Tito, because I know I heard Tito, it sounded like you wanted to say something, you wanted to chime in. So Tito, give me an example. What was your experience with revenge, as either an instigator or receiver?
Let me point out receiver from a receiver point of view. When I was in high school, I was just this kid who I didn't understand anything about human relations and whatnot. Having friends and hanging out, that didn't make sense to me. I just kept to myself. I read real hard. I used to spend my times in the library. I'd always have a book with me, and I'd be writing and reading. And that was me. That was my life. I didn't understand why I needed to socialize. That didn't make sense to me.
Right. So, I remember you telling us that.
Yeah. So most people didn't like that, and I think I only had one friend in high school, just one, and the rest of them, I just talked to them like they weren't even there. And if they needed something, let's just get to the point. Let's not dance around. Just finish this, and you can move on to. I wasn't rude or anything like that. At least I don't remember that I was, but maybe I was. I don't know. So anyway, a whole bunch of guys got real mad at me. And if you know anything about Kenyan high schools, is that there's this thing called a strike. It's not really a strike. It's like a riot. You know, it's like how can I put
in
it
high
this
school
way?
you guys are rioting? Let me find out.
Yeah, yeah. You just look that up. It's real bad. They even send in the cops, rubber bullets and tear gas and all that stuff. It can get real messy.
Well, it was a social issue or the issue just in high school? Like, because, I mean, I know, there's riots for, community issues, for social issue, civil rights movement. But what was it that you guys were rioting about? Or how did the riot break out? Why? Why did it break out?
Well, the fundamental reason for most high school riots, it's they don't want to be in school. That's just it.
Oh, okay.
But the political reason they put up is probably bad food, bad domicile facilities, bad no books, no teachers. That's the political reason. But the real reason is that we just want to cause hell and go home.
Oh, okay. Wow, good job.
Yeah. So that was it. So I didn't care. I never joined in. I was always just chilling. And they didn't like that at all. So they made a very serious plan to buy a can of gas.
Oh, no.
And, and kind of go around my domicile and douse it and set it ablaze. And they would have done it. They would have done it, but they got caught by the cops. And they got arrested. It was like 5 guys. And they were asked, why'd you guys have a can of gasoline? What's with that? And they said we were aiming at this guy we think is a snitch. We just don't like him. We're going to burn him and burn the dorm down,
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so from that perspective, I don't know what to think of revenge at that point. But if it was up to me, I wouldn't have been that sloppy. I'd have been efficient. I'd have been make a good plan. What's the point of of carrying that around and not doing anything about it? I'm gonna make a point later on, but I think like you said, I don't want to kind of run ahead of the topic.
Okay, yeah, because we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. So yeah. I'm telling you, the professor always knows what's on my mind. So all right, so we got Grace, chiming in. We had Tito. So I want to go to Joy. Joy, before we get to what Tito has been foreshadowing for the night so far, what has been your experience with revenge? Because now we've had one person say that they actually sought revenge. Grace sought revenge. Judith was also sought revenge, and she felt some type of way about it, and Tito was the receiver. So tell me, Joy, what was your experience with revenge?
When I was on my high school, my friend was really annoying. In our class, I loved answering my teacher's questions when I know the answer. But I think that classmate of mine was kind of jealous because our teacher always telling me I'm good, especially maybe because I'm also a player, and that time I played chess. That's why many teachers knew me at the time. But then one day, my classmate followed me at the restroom, and she's shouting at me like, why am I always the good and why not her? Why? She always like that. Then she pulled my hair unexpectedly, and then maybe because of our noise, our classmate and our teachers approached to us and tried to stop us. Then that time, I was very mad and I felt like so embarrassed. So, yeah, I tried to take revenge. Then what I did is I followed her the same as in the restroom, and I just locked the door just to take revenge. And whenever I think about what I did, it makes me smile as always. Yeah.
Wait, so what did you do to her when you followed her in the bedroom?
No, I just locked the door, and I don't know what happened to her.
Oh no! Oh my goodness! You guys are little sneaky little things. I mean, who would have stunk it? Then you guys, oh man, you guys are some plotting somebody. Very calculated. I mean, even Tito. I mean, he said, because Tito's always honest. Tito said, oh, if that were me, I wouldn't have been so sloppy. I would have saw that thing through. So you guys are hilarious. That is funny. I have to think. I have to think of a time when I sought revenge. It's crazy, and I'm thinking like, oh wow. I think maybe the one thing that might stand out is I've done things to make a boyfriend jealous. If I felt like they did something that was out of line, I felt like, oh, I need to answer that, and make you feel how I felt. I think that's the one that stands out the most. I don't think I've ever been half as creative as you all in your revenge seeking. So that's a funny one. So yeah, we're gonna get to. I want to get to what Tito was actually, hinting to, and actually, you guys already answered the question. And for those that are listening, we're looking online, you'll see that our next question is, if given the opportunity, how far would you go to pay back those who have wronged you? And clearly, you guys go pretty far. I mean, you guys calculated, you plot that thing, and you see it through. But I guess that question was really geared towards, if you could step outside of yourself, let's say you were a non-believer, let's say you were not so holy or you weren't so righteous, to what extent, would you go to seek out revenge? Or to what extent would you pay back what's been dished out to you? I'm gonna go to Cheryl. So Cheryl, if given the opportunity, and if you could be honest with yourself and with us tonight, apart from your spirituality, like if you could just step outside of yourself and God could give you a pass for the day, who would you maybe pay back? And what is it that they did? And how would you pay it back?
Wow. That's good. I don't know if I can explain it further, but I will do it the best way I can. When maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I really want to kill somebody who really betrayed me. That's true, and that moment. I locked the door. Then I prayed to God. I really cried. I cried even the whole night, the whole day. I didn't even go to church that moment because I was really hurt. So I'm planning to kill that person. But I am asking myself how and why. Then after that one, after maybe 3 days or 4 days, I was enlightened. Then I stopped. I stopped thinking killing. I stopped thinking revenge. But rather I prayed, and at last I overcome it.
Wow.
Then after
so
that
you said you prayed, what was your prayer? If you remember, if you can recall, what you said in your prayer, was there like a mantra, something that you kind of repeated to yourself, to get over that thing? What can you share with us about that?
I was reading a book. I forgot what is that book. The title is List to Live By. That is the compilation of quotations regarding family, friends, occupation, etc. Now, I open a part wherein the topic is all about revenge. It says there that revenge is not ours. If you are going to revenge, think about what will happen to you, and think what will happen in the future, what will happen to that person. You might be in the prison, sleeping in a place where you shouldn't be. Then I really prayed, Lord. I said to myself, Lord, if I'm going to take revenge, I know where I'm going to be. And I know that when you come, I will not be saved because I killed. Then, but when I'm praying, I really cry. I am crying. I was crying that time. And I even embraced my pillow and said, Lord, can I embrace you for a moment? And I really embraced my pillow, thinking that he is Jesus. And Lord, would you forgive me for thinking that thing? then I assured to myself because I assured to myself that I was forgiven because I really confess my plan to God and my plan. Then after that one, I went outside after a week and play with young people, play with others. Then I forgot everything, though the pain is still there. By time to time, I was reading a slideshow entitled 45 Lessons in Life. There is a part there that time can heal. So give time, 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 it says there. That's why as time goes by, I forget everything. I learn more to love that person more and more. And I really ask God, Lord, please, you know that we love us. We committed sin many times. You should have killed us if that was the case. Then, Lord, please, let me love people the way you love me. That was my prayer. And I was victorious at last. I never killed.
Wow.
And that was my...
So that's powerful. That's powerful that you really went to Christ in prayer and said, you know, Lord, please
let me love.
You know,
yes,
help me to get over this thing, and I don't want to have these thoughts. You know, you acknowledge what was going on inside, and you know, said ask God, you know, change it. And like you said, you confessed. So that's powerful. That you're willing to go there, because you know that's just difficult to really acknowledge.
I think
that's not right, you know, or something is off there. So I can really appreciate that. Definitely can appreciate that. So I want to go to Joy. Did we get Joy? Joy, I want to know if given the opportunity, in a case where you really just something happened to you, you can't get over, just like so tell me about that, Joy.
As what the Bible says, we have to forgive our brother 70 times 7, right? But I'm just a human. Yeah, but I'm just a human. If I have given the opportunity to pay back those who have wronged me, well, now as a Christian, just the sincere apology is enough, And I don't want to be bitter, and I'm also done wrong with other people. So if I don't forgive people, then maybe others will do the same too.
Right.
Sincere apology is enough as a Christian.
So you're good. So would you say you tend to be a person that kind of can let it go very quickly?
Yeah.
Nice. I think that's beautiful. I always envy people like that, in a good way though. Not in a sinful way, but I always envy people that just let things kind of roll off their back. I think it's just so beautiful. They're easy breezy, and they're very carefree. I'm like, wow, like, why didn't God make me more like that? I always ask him that. I haven't really gotten an answer yet, but I do always wonder. So I definitely do wonder. So that's pretty major. It's pretty major when you can say, you know what, let it go, not taking it personally. It's not about me. That's their problem. If they want to act that way or treat people that way, not my problem. So I can definitely appreciate that. So what I want to do is I want us to go to a short break, and then I want to get right back and get into the Word, because this is what C1 Music is all about. Chosen One Productions. We La Familia. We get it in here. We have really good, healthy conversation, but more importantly, we want to shed light on the Word. We want to shed light on faith-based people and our concerns and our life issues, and get real and keep it real. That's what we do here on C1 Music. So again, for those that are looking online, is uversion.com. For those that want to tune in and talk to us, that's always a great thing. 805-399-1200, and that's code 105-431. And if you're on Skype, add the show with free conference call HD. we want to get it in. We want to hear from you. We want to know how you feel and what issues you're dealing with. So definitely go online, answer those questions, get involved, hit us up. Monday through Friday, we hit it in, C1 Music, La Familia. So we're going to go to this break, and we're going to get right back, and we're going to get right into the word. So get ready.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. La Familia.
You may be weakened and burdened on this journey called life, and your heart can be heavy with grief, pain, and strife, but He's able and willing to do something. And tears fall like raindrops at night when you cry, and the weight of it all takes the hope out your eyes. He's able and willing to do something now. Cast all your cares upon Him, the whole world's in His hand. Call on His name, 'cause He knows and He does understand. Jesus has arrived. His name's magnified. He'll lift us up on eagle's wings, and we'll learn to fly. Don't drift from His mercy. Don't dare turn away. Be willing and ready. Believe Him and say you're able and willing to do something. So come see His glory. Just try Him and see. His grace and His mercy give strength to the weak. He's able and willing to do something now. Cast all your cares upon Him, the whole world's in His hands. Call on His name, 'cause He knows and He does understand. Cast all your cares upon Him, the whole world's in His hands. Jesus has arrived. His name's magnified. He'll lift us up on eagle's wings, and we'll learn to fly. You may be weakened and burdened on this journey called life, and your heart can be heavy with grief, pain, and strife, but He's able and willing to do something now.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. La Familia.
Won't stop. And now
me to chill. They feel I'm a genius until I tell them that he's real. They kill your credibility for repping them, but still I'ma tell them it's a heaven and your enemy is real. You can let him be your shield to get left up on the field. His word, the sword, your weapon, it better be concealed. Ain't no medicine to pill that can heal the void that only Jesus Christ is eligible to fill. I am not just repeating what they told me. I am telling you things the Lord showed me. Fake and I don't be. Anyone who knows me knows the difference between this and the old me. If we were both broke and I got rich, and I came back to show you how to clap chips, would you mind then? You shouldn't mind now. I'm just coming back to give you what I found.
Fell down, line up off the ground. Was lost now. And now I'm coming back to say, I found the way, 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 I found the way. He is the way. Jesus is the way.
I couldn't stand tall till my knees hit the pavement. Sin caused the grip and he was the pavement. Heart of stone, caught a stone, needs a replacement. Before evil deeds lead to the state pen. Leave it to Jesus to break men that are false teachings received from the playpen. And slavery made it easy to hate men of a different color, race, creed, or persuasion. Knowing that it had to be molded and cash money to women, the fashion and clothes to cover up the fact that a young black cat feels inadequate without having it close. Looking for a way out, thought it was in the payout. Flirted with the game, then we begin to make out. Killer venom in her, would've went up in a tube, but the Lord came before I could get her to the room.
Fell down, line up off the ground. Was lost now. And now I'm coming back to say, I found the way, 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 I found the way. He is the way. Jesus is the way.
We all fall, but dog, get back up. Your fall isn't your call to act up. If you can hold tight through the flames, know Christ to carry your soul right through the pain. See, I done had Christmases where I couldn't get my chick a gift, but she laced me. So the next Christmas, just to get gifts, I hit licks and laced her crazy. And cancer respect that, like it's nice where I be at. Nobody ever said it ain't right. Funny thing is, in my head it seemed right. I was still in the cop gifts to celebrate Christ. This world got us all so twisted. Heard God calling and almost missed it. Saying I found him, but really he found me. I'm nothing without him, he's still God without me.
Fell down, line up off the ground. Was lost now. And now I'm coming back to say, I found the way, 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 I found the way. He is the way. Jesus is the way.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm.
We're back. It's your girl Renee, C1 Music, La Familia. I just want to give my girl a shout out. That was Samantha Butler of Created to Worship, and that was Cast Cares. I love that song. I actually was listening to that album on my way home tonight. So it was such a beautiful song, and it just spoke to my spirit. So I was just so happy to play that, and hopefully if she's listening, I just want to shout out to her and congratulate her on her new bundle of joy, her baby boy. So God has completed her. She's got a little girl, and she's got a little boy now. So God bless her, and stay strong and encouraged, because child rearing and childbirth is no joke. So anyway, once again, like I said, you're listening to C1Music.fm, and as I said, we were going to get right into the word. We do want to first start off with our girl Judith, and for her to drop some knowledge and give us some of her experiences as far as revenge is concerned, and whether or not she has ever gone the distance, or if she could, given the opportunity to go the distance, to pay back somebody that wronged her. So the floor is yours, my girl. Go ahead, Judith.
Okay. For me, if I would give a chance to pay back all those mistakes I made, the first thing I need to do is to find all those people and that I did mistakes and give them apologize and sincerity that I'm really wrong, and I wanted to please them and tell to them that give me another chance to change because I made them sad. Because pride, the words makes me weak. It's really hard to fight with our pride. With our pride, I know that pride sometimes teach us to do evil deeds. That's why,
Yeah.
it's enlightened me to be humble and forgive. I kept myself to do good things, and I know it will help me to correct my mistakes. Um, Anger ventilated often hurries towards forgiveness. Anger concealed often hardens into revenge. The best revenge is to live on and prove you. Move on. Forget about the revenge.
How do you move? How do you move on? I mean, because I know we always hear that. Move it on. Move on. Let it go. Time will heal. Kind of like cliches, and they sound so much easier said than done. How would you say you've moved on?
Let's forget about the past and think about our future. Move on because the two of us or two of you say sorry to each other and stop there and let's start over and over again and do something that good and forget about the worst thing or worst happen in our life.
Okay.
We need to move forward. We need to be positive and let's pray to our God because God, the prayer is very powerful. Because revenge revenge really makes you feel better for the moment. Soon after, your hurt will come back and you will seek to find another way to ease the pain, which most likely will be more revenge. So we need to avoid that. This is certain that a man that started revenge keeps his wounds green. So for me, we need to move on and we need to pray. Even we feel mad, even we feel so sad, even we feel so lonely, so isolated, pray and God will help you.
Right. Wow, you brought up some really great points to this because, like you said, when you do seek revenge, it feels good for the moment, but then as a lot of people have been talking about on the panel, then the karma happens and because, every action there is a reaction, and before you know it, it's almost like a vicious cycle. It's like a constant back and forth. It's like, when does it end? So, you're absolutely right. Yeah. And, you even speak about pride. That's the big one. Because we as human beings are very proud. And you said that, sometimes you just have to humble yourself. You have to humble yourself to say, I'm sorry, or to acknowledge that you were wrong in a situation. Because sometimes you say sorry and it means nothing. Sometimes people are not in a position to accept it. I know for me, I always, when I have to go and have a difficult conversation or I have to, step outside of myself and really be vulnerable and be put myself out there for a person, that I might have wronged, I always pray, Lord, please give me the words, and Lord, please put them in the position and put them in the right frame of mind and spirit to receive what it is that I'm telling them. Because, we can say I'm sorry all day, and that doesn't mean that people are going to accept it. So, you have to, once you dish it out there, you got to be able to take it, or you have to be able to accept the fact that, you know what, things may be destroyed forever just because you wanted to seek revenge. Yeah. So I definitely appreciate that, Judith. I mean, I really appreciate my panel tonight. You guys are really bringing it. And, I mean, it's funny, it's almost 11:30 and, the conversation has just been flowing. And who knew that, with us bringing back a topic for part 2, that it would be so easy. So I do appreciate you guys tonight, especially because I don't have my co-host this big. So we miss him tonight, but definitely you guys are holding me down. So I definitely appreciate that. And now we must go to the word because that's we are about here at C1 Music. So we want you guys to, we are going to focus on, or start, I want to say not focus on the same place, but we are going to start in the same place, and we are going to kind of direct your focus in different areas of the scripture. So if you guys have your book with you, whatever version is fine, if you're online, or if you have, the good book, hard copy right in front of you, crack it open to 2 Samuel 13, and I'm doing the same. I actually had it marked. Okay, there you go. 2 Samuel 13, and we're going to verse 22. I'm going to start with verse 22. I know we have verse 21 on the website, but I want to start just a little bit after that to verse 22. So let me know, you guys, when you have it. And I just lost it. Okay. All right, so once again, those listening, 2 Samuel 13:22. And I'm going to read, and you just read along with me, and I'm going to be reading to verse 34. Okay, so here we go. So, 2 Samuel 13:22 says, and Absalom spoke to his brother Amnon, neither good nor bad, for Absalom hated Amnon because he had forced his sister Tamar, or Tamar in some cases. And it came to pass after 2 full years that Absalom had sheep shearers in Baal-Hazar, which is near Ephraim. I need to put my light on. So Absalom invited all the king's sons. And then Absalom came to the king and said, I quote, kindly note, your servant has sheep shearers. Please let the king and his servants go with your servant, end quote. But the king said to Absalom, no, my son, let us not all go now, lest we be a burden to you. Then he urged him, but he would not go. And he blessed him. Then Absalom said, if not, please let my brother Amnon go with us. And the king said to him, why should he go with you? But Absalom urged him, so he let Amnon and all the king's sons go with him, and pretty much gave him. And now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, watch now, when Amnon's heart is merry with wine, and when I say to you, strike Amnon, then kill him. Do not be afraid. Have I not commanded you? Be courageous and valiant. So the servants of Absalom did to Amnon as Absalom had commanded, and then all the king's sons arose, and each one got on his mule and fled. And it came to pass, while they were on the way, that news came to David, saying, Absalom has killed all the king's sons, and not one of them is left. So the king arose and tore his garments and lay on the ground, and all of his servants stood up by their clothes, with their clothes torn. Then Jonadab, I'm probably not saying that right, the son of Shimon, David's brother, answered and said, let not my lord suppose they have killed all the young men, the king's sons, for only Amnon is dead. For by the command of Absalom, this has been determined from the day that he forced his sister Tamar. Now, therefore, let not my lord the king take the thing to his heart to think that all the king's sons are dead, for only Amnon is dead. Then Absalom fled, and the young man who was keeping watch lifted his eyes and looked there, and many people were coming from the road on the hillside behind him. So we're going to stop at verse 34. So a lot happened here. A lot occurred. And it's funny, this is why I said Tito is always foreshadowing what we're going to discuss, because, to me, this is the way I interpret it, and I'm definitely going to hear from you guys in a moment about how you would interpret this scripture, because, it sounds like Absalom, he really had a plan here. He really plotted this thing out. He knew that there was something that they needed to do. He requested that his brothers come, really kind of singling out Amnon. Then he tells his servants, all right, well, when he gives good and nice and what people would say if you're tipsy or whatever, he gets really good and nice and kind of off guard, go ahead and strike him, And then he even kind of manhandled and kind of deboed his servants when he was like, do not be afraid. Have I not commanded you? Be courageous and valiant. This is what I tell you to do, so you better do it. That type of thing. And I find that happens in old gangster movies, things I used to watch that I can't watch now because my nerves are bad. I can't watch half the things I used to watch. But, gangster movies, you always see the big dog. They always send in somebody else to do it. Isn't that funny how they do that? isn't that strange? It's like they never want to do their own dirty work. It's almost like people always have to get somebody to do it, and they command you. I command you. Go ahead and shoot him, and you handle that. So, what would you guys say? And I'm gonna, whoever wants to chime in, we're just gonna keep it real light for the second half of the show. What would you guys say he was feeling when he did this? What was his motivation? What was his intent? Can somebody answer that for me? Anybody? Not all at once? I'll ask again just to make sure you guys heard me. What would you guys say Absalom was feeling when all this was happening? What would you say his overall motivation or intent was after he discovered this horrible information? What did it start off saying? He felt neither good nor bad, but he hated him. He spoke to his brother, neither good or bad. He didn't, but he hated him. So that's pretty deep. So can someone give me some interpretation of what happened here in this scripture? Okay, I'm going to start calling names now. I'm going to be like the teacher in the classroom. Nobody wants to raise their hands. I'm going to start calling on people. Okay, so I'm going to call on Tito. So, Tito, how would you interpret this scripture and what took place here with Absalom and his servants and him kind of requesting his brother's presence?
All right, okay. For starters, now this is the definition of a good plan, a really good plan, and let's not kind of play down what Amnon did, because Amnon is a bad dude. I mean,
right.
Come on, who does that to their sister? That's
Right.
just going to be wrong. And what Absalom did in our society today would have probably been, like a hero's response. People would have said, hey, yeah, he can go to jail, but he's going to get a plea pretty soon because he's a hero in our eyes. That guy, Amnon, deserved to die, that kind of approach. But focusing back, in terms of revenge, I would definitely say that Absalom was responding in the way that most people should. I'm gonna clarify that later.
Okay, because you know it was coming. I was like, wait, what did he say? Okay, all right, so we'll get back to that.
First of all, God doesn't expect us to pretend that it doesn't hurt us when people do bad things against us. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want us to pretend that, and that's how I feel about God. He wants you to get real with your feelings. He wants you to get real with what's going on in your life, because if you can't relate to him in a sincere way, then it's not a relationship. For example, if you have a couple who love each other like 100%, if the guy wanted to avenge something that someone did against them, the wife would probably know about it. She'd probably either read it off him, or they would have a conversation that she would say, okay, fine, go and get him. Or no, you don't have to do that, or something like that. See, that's a relationship I feel God has. And the fact that we say that revenge is all about anger, and rage, and we're going to break through the door and do stuff, that's not how I see revenge. Revenge is a dish that is served after a very long time, Just let it cool, let it chill out first,
Right, as you said, best served cold.
Yeah, let it chill out. You don't want to respond emotionally, because that wouldn't be revenge. This would just be anger, and you just throwing your hands all over the place and throwing a tantrum. But revenge is when you plan it, premeditated. I think they have a classification of crime. Yeah. So in terms of what Absalom was feeling at this point, I don't think he was really feeling it. He just wanted to get it done. I wouldn't say he was hurting. I'd say he probably had dealt with the issue in terms of feelings by now. But in regard to what needed to be done, what he had decided to do in his heart, he was going to do it. You know,
right.
He was gonna do it. He probably had settled his feelings a long time ago, because this is a long time after, and probably, yeah. So I mean, that's
and
my
I would
feeling.
say that is pretty accurate based off of the text because, it says, oh, well, Absalom said nothing to his brother, neither good nor bad. He hated him. It wasn't even like, you know what, we don't even forget about, I'm not sitting here mincing words with you. We're not even going to go back and forth. Like, I know how I feel about you. I know what it is. And like you said, I know what I'm about to do, and I'm determined to get it done. So, that's like you said, premeditated. I wrote, a note in my Bible, plot. He pretty much plotted that thing. So, moving forward, I want to skip down to the text where now he says. Now therefore, I'm on 33, I'm sorry, verse 33. Now therefore, let not my lord the king take the thing to his heart, to the thing that all the king's sons are dead, so that he doesn't have to feel like, oh, I lost out on all my sons, for only Amnon is dead. Then Absalom fled, and the young man who was keeping watch lifted his eyes and looked, and there many people were coming from the road on the hillside behind him. So that was in verse 34. If you advance to and skip to, verse 36. So it was as soon as he had finished speaking that the king's sons indeed came, and they lifted up their voice and wept. Also the king and his servants wept very bitterly, clearly because for Amnon. But Absalom fled and went to Talmai, the son of Ammihud, king of Geshur. So again, we hear it twice, and actually. There's more times that you hear it in the text further on down the line, but Absalom fled. So I want to hear from someone else what this means, because we see one side of Absalom where he's very determined. He doesn't. He's not really feeling as much as he's acting. We do a lot of talking. We'll fuss. We'll go back and forth. We'll black out. We'll be upset. Our hands will be flailing. But we're not really doing much of anything. Like you said, like Tito said, you throw your hands up, you have a tantrum, you get angry. But that is really not hurting anybody. That's really not revenge. So here it is. This is a man that was pretty much mild-tempered. He was very composed. He's very strategic, very calculated. But now he's fleeing. So can someone shed light on that? Tell me, what does that mean? Now he's fleeing? Like, he was determined. He did what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He was very, adamant about it. He was very clear-minded about it. What does it say? I want to hear from one of the ladies. Why is he fleeing now? What does that say about Absalom?
Okay, hello. This is Grace.
Yes,
okay,
Grace,
so
yes, I'd love to hear from you, Grace. Go ahead.
Yeah, what we were discussing earlier, the first question here is when we plan to have a revenge, to plot, get back on someone, like I said earlier on, that it's so sweet, the feeling of you are satisfied because what you have been planning was already done. Mm-hmm. But that's the consequence. So I believe Absalom, that he kind of had this fear already in his heart, because he doesn't know what will be the reaction of his father, King David, considering that this brother of him is the eldest son, right? That's the thing. When you take revenge, you're really not sure of what's going to happen next, whether it would lighten things up or it would worsen the situation. In this case, life was taken. He killed our brother, so definitely he was very much aware that this would lead to something more serious, more dangerous. So he opted to go to his grandfather, the place where he knows that he is most welcome. So that's how I understand the reason why he fled.
Wow.
And maybe
you really broke it down, Ray.
Yeah. Sometimes when we are acting on, sometimes we don't care when you are taking a revenge. This is like what I did. You don't care what will happen next. What you have in your mind is just to execute what was your plans. and you don't care at all what will happen next, as long as you will get the satisfaction of executing what you have planned. So definitely, probably that's what was happening with Absalom as well. He was able to plot what he had planned, and it was done. And now he started to, hey, I need to stay away from these people because I don't know what's gonna happen next.
Yes,
wow,
yes.
you really broke it down, Grace. Because, you know, it's funny. Here it is. Yeah, you're right. Like you said. And I think someone said it earlier, or pretty much everybody in the panel said it earlier. You know, yeah, you'll seek revenge. It feels good for the moment. And then all of a sudden, boom,
yes, it'll be back.
Reality kicks in, and you're like, wow, wait a minute. This could really come back on me, and this could fall back on me a lot heavier, a lot stronger, a lot more aggressive. And now what am I going to do? So it's almost like, okay, so yeah, he was about it. He was about it for a moment. And then all of a sudden, now you're fleeing. Now you want to leave. Now you want to dip out. You know what you did. You knew exactly what you were doing. It was well thought out. You had more than ample time to consider the cost of it all. And now you're almost scared. Now you're feeling like, ooh, wow, shouldn't I have done that? You know, and that's even more the reason why we're discussing it, because you know, I think regardless of how we all define revenge and how we've all had our experiences with revenge and seeking revenge and being the recipients of revenge and how it made us feel, it really comes down to at the end of the day, it doesn't end good, you know. Right. It doesn't end good. And, you know, we may have good intentions in the beginning, but it never ends good. It never gives you a good result or positive result, I should say.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel good, because if you're not seeking revenge or retaliating or you know, doing something that hurt another person, you're either looking over your shoulder like Absalom, thinking like, oh gosh, what's going to happen next? I mean, and you know, I'm sure for those that read the Bible and those that know the story, you know, it doesn't end good for this man. So clearly, this whole situation spiraled out of control, and just like Tito said, you know, it started with a horrible act. It started with a horrible situation, a horrible event, in which somebody did something wrong, and then you react to their action with another wrongdoing, and then it's a domino effect. Then everything spirals out of control. But I want to go back to Tito, because I know Tito hinted at something, and I was actually just gonna jump on, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna speak about that later." So I want him to clarify, unless there's anybody else that wanted to chime in on their interpretation. Was there anybody else that had an interpretation of this text that maybe we're not seeing?
Me. I haven't really about that.
Okay.
We know that revenge will drain you mentally and physically. At the end of the day, is it worth all your energy? Like we lost our energy. Yeah. Like the story from the Bible, Samuel 13:21-22. We know that Absalom was so mad because Amnon killed his brother Tamar. Absalom was feeling much pain, and I think he felt so much angry and very sad at the time. That's why he did something. He not wanted to talk with David because of what happened in his feeling. In my side, for me, it's okay. If you are in this situation, I think we did the same thing with his action. Because but the good thing, even he's so mad, he's not saying something bad against the people who killed his brother. For me, I learned from this story that my reflection about this story is we need to think first before we take action. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and you make a great point. I think we don't give ourselves that time to really, like, fully process what's happening. I know for me, because I can be very emotional and very reactive. And like you said, if you just take that moment and think about it, like, and you process it, even a day, or just like, a minute just to take a breath, you realize, wow, I'm overreacting, or, it's not that deep. I mean, in this case, yes, this is deep. Anytime someone's being abused, or like Tito said, you do that in the real world, you do that now, and somebody gets raped, and they know that you are the perpetrator, then absolutely, you're going to be locked up. And in fact, in jail, people don't respond very well to rapists. I mean, here it is, you have a prison of criminals that have all done something wrong, but something about rape, especially the rape of children, molestation, those type of things, they're deemed as really heavy. They're deemed as like the ultimate sin or ultimate crime, and even people in jail don't appreciate it. So we know that this is a real situation that perhaps King David could have dealt with more closely, but that's probably another radio discussion another night. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right that there's an underlying issue there. So I want to go back to Tito. Tito, tell me, what was it that you were touching upon or hinting upon earlier when you said what you said? Elaborate, my friend.
Wow, I said a lot of things, didn't I? I'm trying to comb through.
You said that this was a well thought out plot and plan. You were speaking about Amnon. I remember you said something about Amnon, and I was about to jump on it, and I'm like, oh, what did you say? And you were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna touch on that later. That's what you said.
Yeah. Okay. First off, in most vengeful situations, people who are gonna get it deserve it. Well, in most. I'm not saying in all of them, but in most situations, most who need to get it probably deserve it because of what they done or did. Right. Sorry. So what God, from my perspective, and I think it says so in Romans 8:28, it says, "Vengeance is mine; I will repay." That simply says God telling you, okay, good, I understand. I know that hurts. I know it's crazy. I know what they did is crazy, but don't plan, okay? I'll do the planning for you. I will do the execution for you. Just chill and watch it happen, okay? So from my perspective, when I look at it that way, I don't discredit the crime. I think the problem with revenge is that when we plan, it takes a little bit of our souls away, And I don't want to equate revenge with bitterness and other sorts of emotion. This is because revenge is the act. It's not the emotion. I mean, most people say that I feel vengeful. I don't know what that means. I mean, what is vengeful? Is that a feeling? Is it because you've done it? Is it because you're planning to do it? Is the plan the emotion? So I try not to connect the emotion with the action, because at the end of the day, when someone acts and plans for a very long time, chances of that being an emotional reaction are pretty low, I mean, even if people stay angry for a long time, let's say that they do. I mean, how are they going to keep reacting, irrationally and emotionally and without any thought or consideration? Are they going to be breaking things? Nah. After a while, they're going to sit back and say, okay, how am I going to get back at this person real good, once and for all, So for me, revenge is the act rather than the emotion. And what they feel at that time is probably a decision more than, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm motivated. I need to finish this. I need closure, that kind of stuff. I tend to look at it as I've decided that this person needs to pay. I know I probably not feel any better, or maybe I will, I don't know. But whatever they did, it needs to be repaid in one way or the other. So that's what I wanted to say. That's what I want to say. I know it's a little dangerous to say that as a Christian, but I find the disconnect here. If you react emotionally, that's a different kind of sin. If you do the act, if you plan it, that's revenge. And what God is telling you is that don't plan, give it to me. I'll deal with that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so at the end of the day, it's not for us. It's really not our battle to fight. I mean, and it is somewhat of a cliche, and it's also a title of the song. The battle's not ours, it's Lord's. And really, it comes down to that. And I actually did want to go to Romans 8:28 as you were referencing. That scripture actually says, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. And and it's true. We think about the bad things. We think about, I know going to an all-girl college or college within Rutgers University, Douglas College. I used to be involved in performing this thing called Take Back the Night. And it was a really powerful movement for women on campus where we would pretty much start at one point on campus and we would march through the campus to our student center, which was pretty much like the nucleus of Douglas College, and it was the center of town. And we all kind of rallied there, where we spoke about our experiences as women and how pretty much how we experience life as women in college and feeling like maybe the lesser sex and all these things. And I couldn't believe how many women got up on the mic and shared their experiences, and it was deep to find that a lot of my friends had been violated. A lot of my friends had been raped. One of my girlfriends, she doesn't even recall what happened because she went to a party. She was among friends, and you think people are your friends and they're really not. She was among friends, and somebody flipped something in her drink. And before you know it, she calls home and she's telling her mother, "Oh, I lost my virginity." And her mother was like, "Oh, well, honey, you don't even like that guy. Like, what do you mean you lost your virginity?" And it was because he took it. She didn't give it willingly. Here it is, she's among friends, and something happened. And it's just crazy how these things happen, and we don't realize how the effects of it all. And so that was an eye-opener for me to see how people have experienced things that that are horrible. But here it is, she took this horrible situation that happened to her and she spoke out and she helped other people, because by her telling her story, that empowered someone else to tell their story. By that person telling their story, that empowered someone else to maybe not be in that situation, to not find yourself in a dark room with someone that you say is your friend, where no one's witnessing what's going on. Or when you go to a party or whatever you're doing, even if you're drinking something as water, never to leave your drink unattended, to never let someone else get your drink for you, to never go to the bathroom or leave your girlfriends without the buddy system, little things like that. So it's amazing how you'll see people that had something bad happen to them and use it for good. So I say that, in a roundabout way that I did. I say that to say that this scripture does really hold true, Romans 8:28, if those that are following their Bible, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God. That there's a reason, there's a purpose for everything we go through. There's a purpose where God's glory is revealed in so many places in the Bible. When people are healed, when people are blind, when people are sick, where people have been deemed as dead, and we spoke about it, and I spoke about when my pastor flatlined, and God rose her and gave her another chance, and all those things, they work for our good. So I think that's a beautiful way to kind of seal that scripture and to seal that this conversation about revenge, and that I believe Grace said it earlier. Really, is it all worth it? At the end of the day, was it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth to feel, oh my gosh, I can't eat, I can't sleep, I'm in pain because I can't let go of this thing, or I'm thinking about it and I'm going over it 1,000 times in my mind. Is it worth it all in the end? So that leads us to our last question to seal this incredible show, and I do have you all to thank for it. I have those listeners. I have the people that have tuned in, people that even answer the questions online. I have you all to think for making this an incredible show. But this leads us to our last question for those that are voting for the poll. When is revenge appropriate? Is it ever appropriate? Is it appropriate in family matters? Is it in this case, was it appropriate? Or can a family member get a pass? Like, you're my family, I love you. Maybe I'll give you a pass. Maybe I won't deal with you so harshly because you are family. Or is it appropriate in romantic relationships? Or is it appropriate in friendships where you feel like, you wronged me, you deceived me, you were disloyal, you betrayed me? If you had to pick an answer, Joy, whether or not it's in family matters, romantic relationships, or friendships, where would you say revenge is most appropriate? Or you can say not appropriate in any of those cases.
Well, for me, revenge is appropriate in friendship when you feel the effects of betrayal, disloyalty, or deception. In friendship, we don't know who are being honest and true or who are being fake. Sometimes what we thought the best are also the worst. That's why there are times that we're thinking for revenge, and most probably because we have felt the pain and the hurts. Because when we say friends, it means that you must be the person that can approach to. You should be the one who can understand and can keep secrets. So, in friendship, it's not acceptable and expected that we betray our friends, right? That's all.
Right. Okay, so that's your take on it. Thank you. And it's funny that you bring up friendships. I mean, I know I had a situation where I felt like a friend was completely disloyal. I felt like she betrayed me. And deceived me. She did all those things. And I can tell you this, I never once sought revenge on her, never once. All I did was cut her off. I mean, and I think that probably was the biggest revenge because she could no longer benefit from my friendship. I felt like in our friendship it was very one-sided. I felt like I gave a lot with, asking for nothing really in return. And the second you cross me, okay, well, you know what, we just don't need to be friends anymore because who needs friends if they do that? So I guess I took the route that Tito was discussing. Now, emotions have nothing to do with it. I don't feel anything. You're just no longer a part of my world. You no longer exist. So I just cut it off and shut it down. So, yeah, so in friendships. What about Cheryl? Cheryl, tell me, where would you say it's most appropriate? Revenge in family matters, in friendships, in romantic relationships? So which one? Friendship, family matters, or romantic relationships?
Not appropriate to all. I know that we are all human. Not appropriate to all.
Okay.
I know that we are human and sometimes we want to revenge. But as much as possible, let's overcome it. Let's pray that God will give us the strength to overcome this one because revenge is not good. It will just make you miserable. That's how I view it. That's why if we try to go back to the story of Absalom, he revenged because the Ammon raped his sister Tamar. But at the end, if we try to observe, Absalom was killed too. Maybe that is already the payment of his what he has done to Amnon. That's it. That's why not appropriate at all. As much as possible, let's do our best not to revenge to whatever situation we're in. Anyway, kind is the sweetest. Kindness is the sweetest.
Well, Cheryl has spoken.
Revenge.
Not appropriate at all. Even though we've had various opinions about this, I mean, I would say that the end all be all will be that, you know what, in the end, it's not really worth it. If it means your sanity, if it means compromising your walk with Christ. And I think that's where we're going to end it tonight. We are going to end it on a good note, knowing that, it's not worth it, that you need to seek God in that and really seek God in what He would have you to do. Because I think if we really, really seek Him and ask Him and pray and really just kind of trust ourselves and, our better sense, we will come up with, you know what, it's not worth it. We need to, and I know someone said it earlier, we need to look towards the future. We need to focus on the future and focus on the good that can come out of it, and I think we'll be all right. So, again, this is your girl, Renee. You were listening to C1Music.FM La Familia, and I had on the line Tito. We had Grace, Cheryl, Judith, and Joy, my phenomenal panel. And we want to give a shout-out once again to Samantha for her blessing our music tonight. We want to give a shout-out to our boy, Bruce Biggs, and missing him this evening. And we ask that you tune in tomorrow. Once again, C1Music.FM La Familia. We are signing out. You have a wonderful night.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.FM La Familia.
First question I am requesting, do you know the Lord Christ as your best friend? John 15, I'm more than a servant, I'm just commenting how he brought me in. Colossians 2, he bought me sins. Yes, now I'm free up in the Savior. Following that light got me looking in a manger. To be wise, I'm lifting up my eyes, cause he's sitting next to God, who I'm trying to make famous. Just wanna make him famous. Nothing you can do, even Obama couldn't change this. And he's the God of ages. He gives life without you entering them cages. Man, do you read the pages? If you do, tell me what scripture is your favorite. Could it be John 3:16? Let me know something, homie, I'm listening. Mine's Matthew 6, the whole passage. Tattoo sticks to my heart, reside where my treasure is. God, I try to bring him pleasure. His rod and staff give me comfort, knowing I'm insured for life, bumper to bumper.
You can know him like I know him.
Yeah.
In my heart I hold him. Shows me love and affection. He's my protection. He's such a
That's right.
He is.
Son of God,
He is.
Lamb of God,
He is.
Bread of life,
He is.
Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit. I really hope you hear it.
I'm just introducing.
Yo, you can know God just like I know him. You ain't gotta be rich or well spoken. You ain't gotta dress up for him to notice you. He wants you broken. He's knocking at the door. All you gotta do is open up. See, me and God used to be rivals. I used to be embarrassed to even carry a Bible out in public. I know it sounds crazy. That's the way I was, but now look at how he changed me. I used to hate going up in church, trying to comprehend but couldn't understand a word that he was saying. So I started praying. Was it me or did this man speak a foreign language? But yet again, that's where I was at. But look at how the Lord can come through and fix a flat. He fixed me up and sent me off with the truth. He changed me and he can do the same thing for you.
You can know him like I know him. In my heart I hold him. Shows me love and affection. He's my protection. He's such a blessing. He is.
Son of God,
He
Lamb of
is.
God,
He
the Bread of life,
He is.
Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit. I really hope you hear it.
I'm just introducing
Jesus.
You see the way that I'm living. 'Cause I rep Christ and I know what you're thinking. That's really different. Don't really get it. I can never be like that. You're still wondering, is it really real? 'Cause I'm struggling. Things could be so much better. Let me introduce you. Maybe you know a lot about him, but you're still living life without him. Giving up, just surrender. Once you let go, your desire to know him will grow. Then you'll see that he's the center. He is. He is. He is.
Son of God, the Lamb of God, the Bread of life is Jesus Christ.
He is. He is. He is.
Son of God, the Lamb of God.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.FM. the familiar.